going deep, deep into the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers.
Oh, an excellent choice.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. The Two Towers. A movie that came out, what, over 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Why are we revisiting this? But listen, this film, it's still considered like a landmark achievement in filmmaking, and we're going to unpack why.
Absolutely.
It just keeps captivating audiences even today, even decades later,
Yeah.
you know? And we've got a ton of great material to help us out here, like in-depth recaps, reviews, behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah, some really insightful analysis.
So get ready for some, like, aha moments, even if you've seen this movie, I don't know, like a dozen times before.
Even if you think you know it inside and out,
Right.
there's always something new to discover.
Always.
It's fascinating how The Two Towers takes what made Fellowship so great and just, like, turns it up to 11. It's not just a sequel, it's an expansion of the entire world, the characters, the stakes, everything.
You know, when I was looking at your notes, you mentioned you were really interested in how the film handles temptation.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the most brilliant things about it, right? Because The Two Towers picks up with the Fellowship scattered.
Right. They're broken, vulnerable.
And Frodo and Sam, they're on this, like, perilous journey to Mordor.
The heart of the enemy's territory.
And the ring's just, like, whispering in Frodo's ear constantly.
Oh, a constant threat of corruption.
That's where Gollum comes in.
Right, Gollum. He's not just a creepy character. He's the embodiment of what the ring can do to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Twisted and consumed by it for centuries.
It's like, if you think about it, he was once a hobbit-like creature.
Yeah, Smeagol, he was called, a stark reminder of what's at stake.
Totally. It's like this cautionary tale, right? Like, look what happens when you let your desires control you, when you give in to that hunger for power.
Even if you start with good intentions, the ring twists everything.
Right. And, you know, it makes you think, have you ever felt that pull, that struggle to resist something you knew wasn't good for you, like in real life?
Oh, of course, yeah. I think that's what makes Gollum so relatable. It's that internal battle, Smeagol versus Gollum.
Yeah.
It's a mirror to our own struggles.
Yeah, totally.
We all have our own rings to bear, you know, our own temptations that can lead us down a dark path.
That's true. It's true.
And speaking of temptation and power, we can't forget Aragorn, right?
Oh, Aragorn.
Yeah.
He's wrestling with his destiny in this film.
Take a time.
He's like this reluctant leader, unsure of himself.
Yeah, you can feel the weight of the world on his shoulders.
But he's drawn to this path of responsibility. He can't escape it.
It's like a magnet pulling him towards his true self.
You know, it's amazing how these characters, even though they're in this fantastical world,
Right.
they're dealing with these human dilemmas.
Absolutely.
This stuff we all go through.
That's what makes The Two Towers so powerful, I think. It's not just epic battles and CGI. It's about real human struggles that we can connect with.
And speaking of epic battles,
Oh, yeah.
this film does not disappoint.
Not at all.
The Battle of Helm's Deep, it's just a cinematic masterpiece.
It's a visual spectacle, but it's more than that.
Right.
It's like a representation of those overwhelming forces we all face.
Yeah.
Our own personal challenges, societal pressures, doubts,
Wow.
all those things we struggle against.
Yeah, it's like the entire world is against them.
Exactly.
And they're just standing their ground fighting for what they believe in.
And even in all that chaos, there's this glimmer of hope. The courage of the Rohirrim, the loyalty of the Fellowship, and then, bam, the Ents arrive.
Ah, the Ents. These ancient tree shippers. It's just brilliant.
Tolkien really brought them to life.
It's like he took something from nature and gave it this incredible power, this presence.
Their awakening is a pivotal moment. It's not just good versus evil anymore.
Right.
It's a statement about industrialization, about the power of nature to fight back.
Yeah, Saruman and his deforestation.
Exploiting nature for his
Yeah.
own gain.
It's like a mirror to what we're seeing in the real world, you know?
It's eerily relevant, even today.
And it makes you think, you know, you mentioned in your notes that you were concerned about climate change.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Do you see any parallels between what Tolkien was exploring and those concerns?
Oh, absolutely. The Two Towers is a reminder that we can't ignore the consequences of our actions.
Right.
We have a responsibility to protect nature, not just for us, but for future generations.
It's a theme that's just so powerful, so important.
It resonates with all of us, especially now.
So we've got these epic battles, characters facing their demons, a message about the environment.
And it all happens in this beautifully realized world, Middle Earth.
Oh, exactly. It's just incredible.
Tolkien's vision brought to life on screen.
Absolutely.
It's captivating.
It really is.
It's amazing, you know, how Tolkien and Jackson, they weave these grand narratives, but they never lose sight of the personal journeys. It's not just about armies clashing, it's about the choices people make.
Yeah, yeah.
Choices that have huge consequences, like ripples spreading out.
And those choices, I mean, they're not always easy.
No, not at all.
Right. Like taking Faramir,
Oh, Faramir.
Boromir's brother. He captures Frodo and Sam.
Right, right.
And for a moment you think, oh no, here we go again.
Another Boromir situation.
Right. You think he's going to be tempted by the ring?
You see that flicker of darkness.
But his struggle, it's different.
It's more nuanced.
He's seen what the ring did to his brother.
How it tore their family apart.
Exactly. And he wants to protect Gondor.
He thinks he can use the ring for good.
Right. It's a more complex kind of temptation.
He believes he can control it.
Which makes his decision to let Frodo go, I mean, wow.
Such a powerful moment.
It shows his true character.
He recognizes that slippery slope.
He could have easily gone down that path.
But he chooses the harder path, the right path.
It makes you think about our own choices.
Absolutely.
The temptations we face.
The consequences, right?
You mentioned you're facing a tough decision at work.
Yeah, I am actually.
Does Faramir's struggle resonate with you at all?
You know, it really highlights how important it is to recognize our own internal battles.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments when we might compromise our values.
Right. For what we think is the greater good.
Exactly.
But Faramir shows us that true strength is resisting that pull.
Choosing what's right, even when it's hard.
And that brings us to another big theme, the clash between nature and industrialization.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
The Ents awakening, it's such a powerful scene.
Visually stunning.
And emotionally charged,
For
right?
they've seen forests grow for centuries.
And then suddenly Saruman's just destroying everything.
His unchecked ambition, it's terrifying.
And it's so relevant to what we're dealing with today.
The environmental concern.
Right. It's like Tolkien was prophetic.
He saw it coming.
The destruction of Fangorn Forest, it's a warning.
About greed, about the need for balance.
Right. It's not just nature good, industry bad.
It's more complex than that.
It's about thinking about the consequences.
Long-term consequences of our actions.
You mentioned feeling a sense of urgency about climate change.
Yeah.
Does the Two Towers speak to those concerns for you?
It really does. It makes you think about our relationship with nature.
Our own impact.
The choices we make for a sustainable future.
So we've got these epic battles, these complex characters, this powerful environmental message.
All woven together.
Into this incredible story.
And despite all the darkness, it ends on a note of, I wouldn't say optimism, but resilience.
Resilience, yeah, I like that.
It's not about everything being okay.
Right.
It's about choosing to keep fighting.
To hold on to hope.
Exactly. They've faced so much loss.
But they find the strength to go on.
And that's what makes it inspiring.
It's not a fairy tale ending.
No, it's real.
Life is full of challenges.
But we have the power to choose how we respond.
And speaking of hope and resilience, we can't forget the visuals. They're just breathtaking.
Oh, the CGI, the effects.
Gollum especially.
Andy Serkis, he was groundbreaking.
He really was. It changed everything.
A new standard for CGI characters.
And then there's the Battle of Helm's Deep.
A masterclass in action.
The scale of it, the practical effects, the miniatures.
Blended seamlessly with CGI.
It's still amazing to watch.
But it's not just spectacle.
Right.
The battle serves the story.
It shows character development.
Strategic decisions.
The fight for survival.
There's a purpose to everything.
And it's not just the effects, right?
Yeah.
The music, the cinematography.
The performances.
Everything works together.
To create this unforgettable experience.
The Two Towers. It got critical acclaim.
Oh, yeah. 2 Academy Awards.
Nominated for Best Picture.
But its impact goes beyond awards.
It reignited our love for fantasy.
Showed that these stories can be deeply human.
It's become a cultural touchstone.
People still watch it. They rediscover it.
And that speaks to its legacy.
It's not just entertainment.
Right. It's a story about the human experience.
About our values, our choices.
Our impact on the world. It's wild, right? Like the Two Towers, it's the middle part of this huge story.
Yeah.
But it feels like its own complete thing.
You know, it really does.
You could almost watch it without the others, and it still works.
It would have been so easy to make it just like a bridge.
Oh, totally. Just connecting the first and third movies.
But they didn't. They went so much deeper with it.
They fleshed out the characters even more, the world too.
In all those big themes, we keep coming back to them.
Yeah. Yeah, they hit you on so many levels.
And you've got all these different storylines happening at once.
Frodo and Sam struggling to get to Mordor.
Aragorn becoming the leader he's meant to be.
The people of Rohan facing this impossible battle.
And the Ents, waking up to protect the forests.
It's a lot to juggle.
It really is, but it all works.
Each story has its own arc, its own ups and downs.
But they're all connected, part of this bigger picture.
Like threads in a tapestry.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you mentioned in your notes how much you like the pacing.
Oh, the pacing is perfect.
It never feels rushed, but it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
They know how to build tension.
And then give you these quiet moments for the characters to breathe.
Exactly. Like that scene with Sam and Frodo.
Oh, yeah. Where Sam reminds Frodo there's still good in the world.
Even when everything seems dark.
It's such a simple scene, but so powerful.
It gets me every time.
It speaks to that idea of resilience, you know?
Yeah, that even when we want to give up, there's still a choice.
We can choose hope.
We can choose to keep fighting.
It's like what you were saying about facing challenges in your own life.
Right, and finding ways to stay positive.
Do you see a connection there with Sam's optimism?
Oh, definitely. Sam's loyalty, his belief in goodness.
It's a reminder that we're not alone in our struggles.
We can lean on our friends, our communities.
People who believe in us.
Exactly.
And the two towers, for all the battles and the darkness.
Yeah.
It ends with this feeling of hope.
Not a victory, not yet.
But a sense that things can get better.
The Fellowship, they're still fighting.
Rohan has survived.
The Ents are defending the forests.
It's a testament to courage, to resilience.
And to hope.
And the film's legacy, I mean, it's huge.
It broke records, won awards.
But it did more than that.
It brought fantasy back into the mainstream.
You see its influence everywhere.
Game of Thrones, The Witcher.
All these epic stories with complex characters.
But The Two Towers also showed us that fantasy.
Yeah.
It's really about the human experience.
The struggles we all face.
Good and evil, hope and despair.
The choices we make.
The impact we have.
It's powerful stuff.
It really is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into The Two Towers,
Yeah.
I hope you've all gained a new appreciation for it.
For its themes, its characters.
For its lasting impact.
And maybe you found some inspiration along the way.
Something to help you face your own challenges.
Your own two towers, so to speak.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Until next time.
May your paths be filled with adventure.
And may you always find the courage to keep going.
See you on the next deep dive.